Check Podcasts. Hi, I'm Bruce Williams. I'm the CEO of the Greater Victoria Chamber of Commerce, and this is Chamber Chats, coming to you as always from the podcasting studios at Czech Television, one of our chamber champions. I would like to begin by acknowledging, as always, that I live and work in the ancestral unceded territories of the Lekwungen-speaking nations, known to us as the Songhees and the Esquimalt. And Chamber Chats are made possible by the support of Island Savings, a division of First West Credit Union. So, in our life, we know that physical fitness, that physical activity, that doing things that keep us active play a big part in our physical and our mental well-being all the time. It's good for us, right? Think about this. What about a deeper value? What about the idea of using sports as a reconciliation and relationship builder to address things like racism and sexism? That is going on right now, and my guest today is here to talk about that. His name is Kabir Hosein, and he's the Director of Operations and Strategic Initiatives for Sport for Life Canada. Welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here today.
So we'll go back to maybe the first time you and I met. When you meet someone and they say to you, who do you work for? Like, what do you do? What's your answer?
The way I answer that, Bruce, is I say I really love what I do. And what I do, what we do, we support sport and physical activities and the related sectors. Like when you often think about sport, you think of teams, professional leagues, but there's so much direct and indirect sectors involved. And the purpose of the Sport for Life Society is to improve the quality of life for as many people as possible through sport and physical literacy.
Physical literacy. We're talking about this organization that encourages people of all backgrounds, of all profiles, of all identities to take part in what you're doing. But what is physical literacy?
Physical literacy may seem like a broad term. Physical literacy is the motivation, confidence, physical competence, and knowledge and understanding to value and take responsibility for engagement, participation in physical activities for life. What that means is that movement in various different environments, air, snow, land, and sea, being comfortable to move freely and understanding the importance of those movements on your health and well-being.
Yeah, we're going to be in a future podcast talking about the idea of fitness for life and being active for life. For example, there's a lot of people that have a perception of a retirement community or a facility. You know, places like Berwick retirement communities are a chamber champion, member of our chamber, but they stress the activity to keep people active at all points in their life, even as they move into senior years. But physical literacy applies to that. What about play builder? That's an interesting term. Tell me about that.
Oh, yeah. This is an innovative program in which organizations, not only sports-specific organizations, they access a number of lessons plans or activity plans that will make quality programming or active movement activity programming easier because it allowed the instructors or the facilitators to keep the content of these programs and activities consistent across the delivery. So this is being currently used by not only coaches, but by teachers, by recreation leaders, not only in Canada, but internationally. Our first major user of the Play Builder program, which preceded my tenure at the Sport for Life Society, is actually New York Roadrunners Club, where they have a membership of over 40,000 and continues to grow. So how do you keep the programming to move, to be active for life, consistent for all 40,000 members? And they saw it as the ideal fit to execute and mobilize their programming. Now, this is customizable. We do have over 1,500 activity plans, and it is customizable, inclusive of all ages, demographics, and very, very interactive.
Okay, I want to dig down into sort of the impetus behind the organization. This is worldwide too, by the way. You're the guy on Vancouver Island, but this is a worldwide thing. So that Play Builder, that's of course Play Builder is building the program, structuring what people are going to do. Now, quality sport. Tell me about quality sport.
Mhm. And that's important. So physical literacy sort of lays the foundation. Quality sport, it is based on a long-term development in sport and physical activity approach. And this needs to be developmentally appropriate, safe and inclusive, and also well-run. Why? Because this leads to individual excellence and optimum health. So it's not only speaking about achieving medals and podium finishes by having a well-run program, safe and inclusive, and it needs to be developmentally appropriate in all various aspects. We see it supporting all stakeholders in achieving one, that individual excellence and general health and well-being.
Yeah, I want to move into the embracing of multiculturalism and all that sort of thing. But how did this all start? Like, where did Sport for Life come from? What was the impetus? Who said, "Hey, let's do this"?
Yeah, like I would have to go back to, some of the history of our organization. Um, it's Sport for Life Society started as a consulting agency led by our now current CEO, Mr. Richard Way, and he was recently inducted to the Vancouver Island Sport Hall of Fame.
Hmm.
Now, sport is quite often seen as high performance, achievement driven, to be famous and to achieve personal contracts and professional contracts. Whereas if we get people physically literate and ensure the programs are guided by the quality sport approach and principles, one of the many outcomes would be professional contracts, medals, and high performance achievements. But what about general health and wellness? Our quality sport programs and physical activities, and the reason why I distinguish the two, quality sport is often structured and sport movement specific. Soccer, football, hockey, tennis, etc. Physical activities include walking, hiking. Bruce, you saw me dancing recently.
Yes, I did. Yep. Yeah.
Yes. Gardening and free play, which is something that we often do not pay attention to. And I would also like to add in here a different perspective, because the reason why this is important, it combats physical inactivity. Physical inactivity leads to sedentary lifestyles, such as obesity, high blood pressure, and that has a direct correlation to the psychological disorders, high levels of stress, etc. Now, the impetus behind physical literacy, quality sport programming, cross-sectoral co-creation, and collaboration is to foster a sense of belonging and social connection via quality sport and physical literacy. But there's lots of research that specifically speaks to youth, more so girls and women right now, dropping out from participating in sport and physical activity. And that's a major worry. The research also shows, particularly when it comes to girls and women, they participate in some form of activity, club, or so forth, because of that social connection, because they make friends, they have the ability to participate. So how about doing this and moving while having fun? It really fosters that sense of belonging, that sense of social connection, and guess what? It lends to them feeling safe and wanting to participate.
That's where I want to go next, is talk about how safety is involved with this. Our chamber chat today, we are speaking with Kabir Hosein, who is with Sport for Life organization. It's a nonprofit. So when we talk about, you talked about young women and women of all ages being involved in these sports, and I want to move into how this engages with multiculturalism too, and brings a better understanding. But there are a lot of people, and if I may say so, perhaps in your life, you have been made to feel unsafe simply because of who you are. This kind of program, integrating these people together, addresses that idea of safety. So let's talk about that for a minute. Safe sport.
Great question, great topic. Like, pause raised just thinking about that because it's so complex.
Yeah.
And the way I would approach that, Bruce, is the principles of quality sport I refer to as 3 Ps: good people, good program, and good places. Now, this means taking a holistic approach, which goes beyond the physical. And when speaking about physical safety, you speak about psychological, social, and cultural safety. And if I may, I'd like to expand on that.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Quality sport programs, physical activity programs, whether they're structured or structured, and when I say unstructured, free play, simply just arriving at some green space or space and moving for fun, not having a plan, particularly amongst the youth or older adults. It provides this place and space for persons to be themselves, for us to be ourselves, for us to express ourselves. The social and psychological connection where you meet friends, you make friends, you meet new people, you learn something new. You learn something that you did not know before. An example would be, I come from a small twin island at the end of the Caribbean chain called Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm very, very proud of my country. But quite often, I don't feel comfortable sharing. In most cases, in a sport or a physical activity setting, if I feel comfortable, this is where it's connected to feeling safe, I love to share about my culture. And in so doing, part of the reason why I do that is because I would like to learn about your culture. I am new to Canada. I'm new to this community. I reside in Saanich. I operate in the Greater Victoria region, as well as across the country and the globe. And I would love to learn about the various different cultures. But if I don't feel welcome, if I don't feel safe, both physically and psychologically, I will not share. Now, another example and another way I want for us to express a bit about this, let's look at it from another perspective. When a program or activity does not provide the opportunity for someone to express themselves or to be themselves, let's look at some of the rules in the aquatic environment where you must wear a particular type of bathing suit in order to participate. Now, you have not even gotten to the water as yet, and you feel uncomfortable in wearing that particular type of uniform, or it's not part of your culture or way of being. You do not feel included. So you will not participate. There's not a positive experience. It takes away the fun, it takes away the self-expression. Another example would be a coach or facilitator of a program. Whether you have a good day or a bad day, that's the first experience, particularly with youth. By being rude and shouting at your athletes or your participants of your program does not provide a quality experience in that first awareness. It is a negative experience. Quite often, I hear this even at the professional level. No talking. Why are you laughing? This is serious work. And again, we go back to sport and physical activity needs to be fun at the various levels of quality sport and physical activity. Optimum performance quite often is achieved when having fun and feeling comfortable and in a safe environment.
Yeah. I think people that are watching this, listening to this, are saying, okay, so how do I get involved in this? So let's talk about that next. Our chamber chat today, we are talking about an organization called Sport for Life, and Kabir Hosein is the guy who is the Director of Operations and Strategic Initiatives for Vancouver Island. You know, you were talking about players being given instruction. There was a hockey player last week, I think, who was barking at his goalie yelling at him to get off the ice or something. I have to wonder if the activity of this kind of organization had been involved at the younger point in some people's lives who have come across these issues with Hockey Canada, that sort of disrespect for females that's been evident. This builds a better culture, doesn't it? So who are the people that are participating in Sport for Life?
And at the Sport for Life Society, we do have a very diverse makeup within our organization. I'm a leader in our organization, Newcomer to Canada. We do have very diverse socio-demographic makeup in our organization. And that is intentional so that we have a variety of perspectives, lived experiences, so that when we are supporting national sporting organizations, provincial sporting organizations, community groups, community organizations, with the guidance and research that's available, we are able to better advise on the principles of quality sport. And the lack thereof of the principles of quality sport leads to the improper behavior, as you referred to, in taking place in Hockey Canada. And that improper behavior arises out of a shortcoming within that environment. And that directly impacts the ability to achieve optimum individual performance for stakeholders such as athletes, coaches. What about fans? What about parents? Like, as a fellow parent, like, do I want my daughter to participate in that toxic environment? It certainly doesn't lend to feeling comfortable and creating that safe environment. Going back to the principles of those 3 Ps: good places, good people, and good programs.
As a guy who never in my life was I ever the best player on a team that I played on, usually far from it. But there are going to be different levels of competencies when people enter into activities with your organization. How's that addressed? That there are going to be stars, there's going to be good players, and some that are just a bit more marginal.
And this is where the term developmentally appropriate is very important. Sport, particularly quality sport, doesn't discriminate. And having that understanding of various intersectionalities within age. So you have chronological age, where a person is X amount of years and X amount of dates, but because of the human developmental cycle, I may be more advanced physically than you may be more advanced, even though we are the same chronological age. This is referred to as developmental age. There's also playing age, where my experiences in a particular sport or type of movement may be more advanced. And by understanding this principle and in creating a quality programs that each person has a quality experience, your program is tailored to motivate each person wherever they're at their ability. Now, it is important that your supporting stakeholders, your coaches, your officials, your administrators are of this same understanding, because you ultimately would like your participants to feel included, be challenged, and to also strive to achieve excellence. And excellence is relative to however they may see it.
How important is winning?
And again, this is very relevant and different for each person. You may have someone who they see winning as learning how to ride a bicycle without falling down. Or in a team sport, a youth person having the achievement of making it to the first team. At the professional level, we have winning the World Cup, like what just recently concluded in Qatar. Quality sport programs being developmentally appropriate, continuously challenging the individual and the team so that they strive for their excellence, for team excellence, is what we strongly recommend. So there's that continuous and sustainable strive, an aspiration to simply be your best and flourish in life.
How do we access Sport for Life? Like if we decide, yeah, I want to put my kids, my grandkids, my whoever, how does that happen?
Great question. So we directly support a number of national sporting organization community groups. We do have our website, sportforlife.ca, where there are a number of interactive programs. We do promote what we consider proponents of quality sport and physical literacy initiatives. And we're always open to have a conversation and advise and support, particularly those who have not had a voice, have not had the ability to participate. I am a member of an equity deserving group with various intersectionalities and have the lived experience of understanding of what it is to be excluded. And being a director, a leader in this organization, I am steering my organization to ensure that we ensure that sport or physical activity programs are inclusive and diverse so everyone participates.
So when that participation gets underway, who pays for it?
The approach that we take, and data proves this, that cost for sport or physical activity program isn't a high priority for parents. It isn't a high priority for individuals who does not necessarily have that drive to be athletically excellent. So we take a solution-oriented approach where we seek funding to support NSOs, PSOs, community groups, and develop holistic programs where these programs want to developmentally appropriate, inclusive, diverse, and a low or no cost. There are various opportunities out there to seek participatory funding for registration, equipment cost, and so forth. So we work with administrators and managers whenever there's a need to support youth or even older adults to participate and try to eliminate almost all barriers or even dismantle them if possible.
Right. I remember being told when I was very young that you have to learn how to lose before you can learn how to win, which I think was a harbinger of the kind of athlete I was going to be. But despite that, I had lots of fun. If you want to find out more about the organization, go online to sportforlife.ca. All the details are there, and they can answer any questions you might have about it too. It's great work. And Kabir Hosein, thanks very much for being with us today on our Chamber Chat.
Thank you very much. I wish everyone all the best and a prosperous 2023.
Thank you. I'm Bruce Williams. We'll see you again for another Chamber Chat.